Hey everybody, this is Wes from the Console Gaming Crew podcast, and we want to proudly say that we are a part of the Boss Rush Network at bossrush.net. Bossrush.net is a place where you can find up-to-date news articles, blogs, and podcasts about video games. In addition to that, there is a growing collection of podcasts, not just in the gaming community, but other communities as well. We are honored to be a part of such a great network of podcasters and content creators. So please stop by and give everyone a listen at bossrush.net. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Yeah, crew members, what it be?
Hey-o! Ho! Damn, you really had a fucking, like a squeal on the end of yours. It just hit me late.
I just, see, I'm here for that delayed, you know what I mean? That delayed hit sometimes, you know? You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you get hit in the gut, but then like when your organs feel it, that's when you really know you're falling.
Yeah, it's
one of those.
It's like when you get popped in the liver and it doesn't register right away, but then your whole body shuts down and you're like, oh, shit. Yeah,
yep.
It's like that. So,
You want to tell everybody how this goes?
Yeah, this week, ladies and gentlemen, we had an episode planned that is now going to be either next week or the following. I'll just tell you what it is. It's not a big old secret, but we've been doing all the episodes of Consoles Through History, which we hope that you guys enjoy because we enjoy doing them. But we wanted to tackle the console gaming crash of the 80s.
Yes.
And I'm the one that screwed up. I thought it was on the schedule for next week, not this week. And what I did was I did my notes and whatnot for what we're supposed to be doing next week, this week. So Wes is going to do his best. He's going to be coming up with a little bit of shit on the spot, which is my doing. But I think he's up for the challenge.
So don't blame me.
So what we are going to do this week, which was supposed to be next week, but now it's this week. What we are going to do is list some of the video games that we wish would make a comeback. It could be a game that, you know, you just wish they would come out with a sequel for. You could, you know, it could be a game that, you know, they only made one 20 years ago and, you know, you want it back. You know what I mean? So let's get this thing started. You want me to kick it off?
Please.
I'm going to kick it off with one that's very, very simple. And it's only simple, and I'm only stating it because we just talked about it recently, and it's for a very specific reason. And for me, that is NHL 2K. And I want it back for no other reason than it gives EA NHL a competitor that is going to force them, hopefully, if the game is good, will force them to pick up the pace with what they do with their own game. Now, I don't quite remember. Feel free to do a little bit of digging if you'd like to, Wes. I don't remember when the last NHL 2K game was. I know it was quite some time ago. I want to say a decade. I want to say a decade at least. But who knows if they were able to find a way to go ahead. It looks like you've found.
So the last release of an NHL 2K game was in 2014.
2014. Okay,
it's 8 years.
Yeah, and the game had its flaws. It wasn't fantastic. I'm pretty sure my buddy AJ and I played a season and we simulated some games. And by the end of the season, Dion Phaneuf, if you're not familiar with him, he's a defenseman. After simulating games, he had like 87 goals at the end of the year. So the simulations were very unrealistic. But what they did have that was great, that drives me nuts, some things that aren't in the NHL games, your players could get suspended. You had suspensions that they would hand out.
That's wild.
For dirty hits. You board somebody, league looks at it, you might get a suspension. So, but what would also be cool would be if they were able to get some of the team that works on, you know, like NBA 2K and stuff like that, because they are doing great, and maybe make a really good NHL 2K game. And then I'd stop buying the EA shit altogether. Who knows?
That is true.
But I would love for NHL 2K to come back, and I almost want to do this in pairs, because I don't want you to go and then me to come back to damn near the same thing. I would love for NFL 2K to come back as well.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Because it's so much fun. I used to love doing those celebrity, like in the house, and you get those phone calls from celebrities playing against like David Arquette's team and whatnot. Like that was always fun. I think Carmen Electra had one, if I'm not mistaken. I remember
David Arquette. Sure. Yeah, I definitely remember David Arquette.
But so that's my first 1/2. What do you got?
So my first one is actually a game that came out in 1992. It was part of
Ooh.
it was part of Sega. It was one of the first games I remember playing, and the game was called Kid Chameleon.
Oh, dude, I
So
remember that.
so essentially, I mean, it's essentially Sega's version of Super Mario because I mean it's a platformer. I mean you're jumping over enemies and you put helmets on, and different helmets gave you different abilities. Like there was one to where it was like this it's like German you mean like they had like the point like the you mean on some of their helmets
Mhm.
like that iron tip.
Yeah.
So you mean if that ended up on you, I mean you became like half tank
Oh, wow.
and you be able to just like drive around and drive over all areas and shoot shit. Like it was one of those games that I mean it that game got me more into platformers than probably Super Mario Brothers, to be honest.
That game would be perfect to come to the Switch.
Oh my god, yeah.
Perfect.
And with Sega right now trying to essentially come back, like actually legit come back into the gaming world and the gaming realm, that would be one that I would absolutely love to have come back.
All right. Next up for me, I've been dying, and I've heard rumblings. I don't know if it's true or not. I hope to God it is, but I would love to have another Fight Night game. It's been quite a while. I'll look up real
It's
quick.
been a
'Cause
long ass
I
time.
don't want to. I don't want to keep making you look up when they came out. So the last one was Fight Night Champion, which is actually on Game Pass right now. I believe it's still on there.
Yeah, it is.
Fantastic game, even still. It got an 8 out of 10 on IGN, but it released in 2011. There hasn't been a boxing game in over a decade, and the game was so much fun. You know me, I mean, I love combat sports altogether. I'm a mixed martial arts fan, but I'm also a boxing fan. And Fight Night Champion, I love that. To my knowledge, if I remember correctly, was the first one to have a story mode in addition to the normal mode that you have where you're like trying to rise the ranks and win the belt. There was actually a legitimate story mode that they had that was a lot of fun. But I would love to. Now it's always hard because who knows who's going to be willing to give their rights. But think of how many great boxers there have been over the last decade that you could have in a boxing game. Now your Tyson Furies, Deontay Wilder. I mean, the Klitschko's were there before, but you still have the Klitschko's.
I mean, even so, you know what I mean?
Anthony Joshua, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you got Pacquiao, Golden Boy,
Vasily Lomachenko, and then you look at the lighter classes now, and you got Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez. There's so many guys, and it would be so much fun with the technology that they have now and the shit that they can do. I would love it. I would love it, and I want it badly.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that thought at all. But so my next one actually did have a sequel. I didn't know this until just looking it up right now. But I probably want the mini games more than I want anything else.
Oh, hold on, because now you got me. No, it's still too vague. All right, go ahead.
Tekken Tag Tournament.
Oh, fuck. I want Tekken Bowl. That's what I want. I want Tekken Bowl.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So Tekken Tag Tournament, like I mean the original game was just fucking incredible. You had 2-on-2s, you know what I'm saying? So you always had somebody tag out with, like, no matter what. And then like you keep on like building, like every time you defeated a round, you would get another character. Like if like when you were Anna, if you defeated it, then you would get Nina. You know what I mean? Because that's her sister. If it was King, then you would get Armor King. If it was Panda, then you would get Kulo or Kuman or something like that. You know what I mean? Which was like the Grizzly.
Kuma, I think
Kuma. There you go.
Yeah.
And then it was like, there's another one to where you get Gong, who's a little orange dinosaur. You know what I mean? With these boxing gloves on. And then like it was such a fun game. And also, like I said, Tekken Tag Bowling was probably one of the best mini games that I think has ever been created.
I mean, I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree, not one bit. Am I good to go?
Please.
All right, let's rock. Now, some of these games that I'm about to list, I mean, Do they need a sequel? No, but it would be fun for them to come back. You know, these aren't games that have been going. Like I said, we talked about Final Fantasy, where they're at like Final Fantasy 39 at this point. Not hating on anyone that loves them. I'm just saying, had a long ass fucking run. You can probably chill if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But put your efforts elsewhere. But anyway, there was a game that it actually shocks me how little it's talked about for Super Nintendo, because it is easily in my top 5 Super Nintendo games. And think of
Okay.
how many great Super Nintendo games there are.
Yeah.
Like, most people, I mean, most people that had a Super Nintendo would have Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, and
Yep.
possibly Super Mario Kart, and that's 3 right there.
Yep.
So, but for me, it's a game called UN Squadron. I love this game. It was one of the side scrolling shooters,
I'm looking at it now.
and the game is fantastic, and it had outside of Mega Man X, the best soundtrack I've heard in it may be top 5 all time across all systems in my lifetime soundtrack in that game. It was a whole lot of fun. You were like an Air Force pilot that it's been so long since I've actually gotten to play it. I don't remember the actual storyline, but you go through and you play these different levels, and every level you finish, there's a boss at the end of each level. You get money, and you can either try to purchase a new aircraft, or you can purchase, weapons to help you through the next stage. And the bosses that they came up with for the end of these levels, like in one level you go up against this like enormous stealth bomber, and then in some other ones it's this long crazy submarine with like all sorts of different different types of guns and cannons on it, and fights against like twin fighter jets and stuff like that. Like, the game was so much fun, and I wouldn't even care if they just remastered it and put it back on the Switch. But I would love it if they came out with one with like today's graphics, because that game is unreal. It's unreal. I would imagine I could put it in front of just about anybody and they'd be hooked today. So that's one for me, UN Squadron.
I got another one that just popped in my head. And this is one of those games. This is actually one of the reasons that I got an Xbox One. I believe it was Xbox One with the Kinect. You know what I mean? Because it was one of those games that you had to yell things to make the game do things.
Oh,
and I am talking about Rise,
Son of Rome. What a story, too.
It was a fancy, and that's one of the really neat things for that era, to be able to do storytelling, because it is really easy to create those overly fantastical like environments and things, and just and all that type of stuff to see, because back then they told those grandiose stories. You know what I mean? Like, everything in the Roman time was all about theater and entertainment, and being able to go ahead and just keep people on the edge of their seats. So that type of storytelling just really does something.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, super surprising, given that's when the Xbox One first came out, because I got that game literally the day that I got my Xbox, which was on Black Friday, which was the one and only time I ever went out on Black Friday. Also the last time, because of how that went. But I got Rise, Son of Rome, and I was shocked at how responsive the Kinect worked with it. You always expect glitches or certain things for it to not work properly, but it worked pretty much flawlessly. And I don't know if I've said this on this podcast before. I may have, I may not. But you hear you hear all three of us all the time talking about trophy hunting and achievement hunting and stuff like that. Anthony and I are way balls deep in that. Me, even a little bit more so than him, but he's still a pretty damn thorough player. Like, he likes to do everything he could possibly do. So honestly, we're both completionists, but that's the first video game that Anthony and I both ever 100%ed, was Rise, Son of Rome. And the bulk of it had to be done online. So Anthony and I were doing like these online matches on the same team, and you had to rack up like 100 to 200 kill combos and stuff like that. It was insane. But he and I put in hours. Like, there were nights where we played probably from like 8 o'clock at night until like 1 o'clock in the morning. Just busting the shit.
I love
out
that.
Of that game.
Yeah, dude, because because I mean, at that point, there was never a game that you spoke to it. You know what I mean? Because like that was the point where everybody was really starting to do that type of thing. I mean, that's when you had the rock bands and the guitar heroes. You know what I mean? And you had like the full band. You know what I mean? Like because you had like world tour where you had the drums and you had the microphone, and like when you sang, like you actually had to sing at least. You know what I mean? Hitting somewhere near what you're supposed to do.
You had to be at least within a certain vocal
The
range.
Yes, the inflections.
Like certain octaves.
It was mainly the inflections more than anything.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. You kind of fucked me because that combo right there was one of mine, so I'll just leave that to the end. But
well, no, just hit it now because we're already talking about it.
Yeah, it was going to be
because trust me, dude. That that was another one that was on my mind where I was going to say, okay, if he doesn't say it, I will.
For me, it was another Guitar Hero, but a Guitar Hero just like the old ones. I love the idea of, what was it, Rocksmith? I think they came out with, where you had the actual. I love the idea of that, but for someone who just wants a little
it doesn't
bit more
need
of a laid
to
back,
be that way.
Still challenge. Just give me another Guitar Hero, but I want this Guitar Hero, and I want it in VR. I want to be able to strap the headset on and feel like I'm in, I'm putting on a rock show. Like, I would fucking love that.
For
it could be Rock Band too. Could you imagine if you had Rock Band and multiple people had headsets and like I could like look at you and actually see you in there, like
I know, like
on the fucking rocking out on the drums or singing whatever it is that you're.
Yeah, we get somebody on keyboard. And, like dude, trust me, I can easily picture that, and that shit would be sick.
That would be so sick.
Shit.
I do have more if you want to keep thinking, because I wasn't planning on giving that one right away.
Oh no, please do, because I'm trying to.
I got you.
I'm trying to find the stuff to where to where people go, oh, nice. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of like going with the, kind of with like the low hanging fruit.
Next for me, and again we're dipping back to Super Nintendo. It may have been on another system too, but I think it was strictly Super Nintendo.
I mean, Super Nintendo was a pretty huge system for you.
Give me Earthworm Jim 3.
Nice.
Give it to me.
Nice.
I want it. I need it. Funny enough, I wasn't as big a fan of Earthworm Jim 2 as I was the first one, but I still played it. I still beat it, and it was still fun. But I would love a third one. And if I'm not mistaken, like, that game was decently crude for its day. Decently. And
they pushed the envelope. I'll say that. They pushed the envelope.
And I think today with, they could just slap a mature rating on that thing, and they could they could make that game so hilarious. So absolutely hilarious. I would love to what those asteroid races would look like in 2023. Would be fucking crazy. But that's another one of mine. There's one, because everything we've said so far, it's possible. It's thoroughly possible. Actually, almost probable for most of them that they will come back. Guitar Hero had such success; it wouldn't shock me if that came back. Earthworm Jim is a little bit of a stretch.
The next one I was going to say I think might be a stretch as well, but
Fight Night is not a stretch because boxing's made such a resurgence, so that's not a stretch. UN Squadron and Kid Chameleon probably ain't happening. But,
no, I know,
but it would be cool. The next one that I was going to give, they're not planning on it happening.
At least not right now.
Their efforts elsewhere. But I would love a third Ori. I would absolutely love one. I don't care how you make the story. I know, obviously, it would have to shift.
Yeah, that would be a little
now.
Yeah, that would be a little different now.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, shit. The stuff that happened in the first couple games could always happen again. It's plausible, but I
mean, it seems like
that's something I don't think they want to do. Is just come out with a third game, but recycling the same shit from the first two. So, like, unless they can really figure out a way to make a third one that makes sense following the second one, I don't know that they're going to do it.
It seems unless they came out with tied the story up pretty well, though, within 2 games.
They did. This is totally selfish on my part. I just love the game so much that I love what Moon Studios does, and I would love to see what they could do. Come out with a prequel. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, because I know right now they're working on an independent IP that that's going to go to all consoles.
Yep. Yes, they are.
I know I said I had one, but now I can't fucking remember what it was. We had some technical difficulties, y'all. So things might... we got a little confused.
Yeah. I mean, bro, I could keep going. I have so many that maybe we even fucking make you happy and you could talk about them, but So another one that I have goes back to Nintendo 64, Turok. Turok the Dinosaur Hunter.
I've been hearing so many people talk about that. Wait a minute,
That game
isn't there a new one coming out with?
I don't know. If there is,
I
that'd
thought
be
there
cool.
was a new one.
If there is, it'd certainly be cool.
Because it has to do with Vin Diesel.
No, isn't that Ark?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. No.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I'm 100% sure I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna fucking say no anyway, just another time.
I'm pretty sure it's Ark.
I mean, look, you might be right. I don't care.
I just want to hear it.
Look, you're right. Okay, fine, fuck it. I don't care. Like I said.
Okay, all right, cool, great.
There you
Now
go.
I don't have to hit you with the "I told you so."
Yeah, well,
Um,
I mean, you can, you will, but
I mean, I kind of did. I
asshole.
kind of did. Realistically, sorry.
Keep going.
But
shut up.
yeah, okay. Back to what I was going into. So yeah, Turok the Dinosaur Hunter. Having another one of those would be super sick. And another one, a big one for me, possibly the biggest, because of the fact that I feel like I got honey dicked already. Is
I'm loving this already.
Silent Hill.
I knew it.
For someone who
I fucking knew it.
You heard it here first. I don't care how fucked up it is. If they come out with a Silent Hill game, I will play that on Freaky Friday the second that motherfucker drops. I won't touch that thing until it's a Friday and I can stream it for everybody. Silent Hill, in my opinion, as far as a complete game, was never as great as Resident Evil, everything in totality, but the scary, creepy factor is 50 times what you get out of Resident Evil. Silent Hill games were so fucking terrifying that, I can't even imagine with today's graphics what that would be like. Silent Hill games were so terrifying that, I didn't want to play them, Jones, with the lights off. There were moments in those, there were moments in Silent Hill games and another game also in the horror genre that I'm going to bring up that gave me moments that I've never gotten in a Resident Evil game. And again, I love Resident Evil. I play every single one of them. I fucking love them. So this is not talking shit.
You are not
on
shitting on
Resident Evil.
anything.
They went a little bit of a different route, and that's fine. But there are multiple moments in Silent Hill games where I saw something that caught me so fucking off guard that I immediately had to pause the game and take a second to breathe and think, what the fuck am I going to do here? I've never had that in a Resident Evil game before.
Okay.
But yeah, so Silent Hill, when I say I was honey-dicked, because we had PT, which stood for the playable teaser that came out for the PS4, that was widely rumored to have been the playable teaser for the next Silent Hill game that was supposed to be called Silent Hills, that Kojima had a hand in, and then the whole game, I don't remember why, but the whole game got scrapped. So
I wonder if he's going to talk about it on his podcast.
It is possible, and I hope so. But Silent Hill is one of them. And did you got anything else, or am I just going to keep rambling here? I don't mind. I
no. How about you give us throw us two more, and then we'll
two more,
and then we'll we'll go two more, and then we'll do what are we playing.
So first one, have you ever heard of a game called Clock Tower?
No, I don't think so.
This is a game that, man,
if they ever came, you're destroying my data, right?
If they ever came, what?
You're destroying my data on my phone, my data plan.
What? How? What? Am I making you?
Because all the shit that I look up.
You don't have to.
But I do.
Clock Tower 3 is actually the one you should look up, because that's the last one that
2002.
Was that Clock Tower 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
7.1 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5, 92%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Clock Tower, man, if they ever came out with a new one, I would love to watch you play that on Freaky Friday, because I can't remember exactly to a T. Like you said, 2002, that's a long ass time ago. So I can't tell you exactly what the story was, but what I can tell you is the way the game is, the way they made the game. Imagine if you had, how Resident Evil, you've played Resident Evil games before. We watched you stream a couple. You know how the way those games work is, There's a lot of puzzle solving and whatnot. And then at the end, you get to a boss battle, and then you're kind of chilling for a bit after that. You do some more puzzle solving, back to a boss battle. Clock Tower really fucks this up because you get introduced to these really, really interesting and well thought out. I don't even call them bosses. I feel like I want to call them nightmares because they're fucking terrifying. But for the sake of this, we'll call them bosses. You get introduced to one, and then for the next couple hours, while you're doing puzzle solving type stuff like you do in Resident Evil, that motherfucker is hunting you down, and you can't do anything but run away and hide. You have different places where you can run and hide while you're still trying to get yourself to a certain place. And then eventually, at the end of that, you then fight that boss, kill them, move on. So every time you go through, there's very little moments in Clock Tower that aren't tense. You know, you play a lot of games. You play games like Silent Hill, like I just brought up. You play games like Resident Evil. You have tense moments in these boss battles, and sometimes when you get in like those horde areas where a lot of things come at you, but then you do that, and then it's a lot of just kind of searching, rummaging through stuff, nothing really crazy. Your adrenaline comes down a little bit. Clock Tower totally flips that. There's way more tense than there is calm. You have 3-4 hours of just complete tension and anxiety, and then you get like a half an hour of being able to chill. So I would absolutely love that. And since I had a few other ones and you only want one more, I'm going to try to think which one I want to prioritize here. And fuck it. I am going to go with, and I know they've had one compared to all the other games we've just gone through. They've had one fairly recently, but Donkey Kong. Give me another Donkey Kong game like the one you had on like Donkey Kong Country that you had on.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, and give me everybody. Give me Dixie. Give me Diddy. Give me Donkey Kong. Give me whatever the annoying cousin or little brother was that you had in 3. I don't quite remember, but I would love another one of those. Those games. There's like I said, there's so many. There's so many that I would play. Because what I'm noticing now is, as much as I love, and I still play them. As much as I love these big, grand games that come out now, your Elden Rings and your Horizons and all that stuff, these big ass games that I love to play. Like, the older I get, like, I start to enjoy more of like the more, they're not easy, but the more like simple games that you really don't have to work a lot to figure out the buttons, the controls, and
yeah.
I still love a good RPG, but a side scroller like Donkey Kong, like where it's just like, here's my mission, here's what I got to do. There's not a whole lot of learning in between. Like, that's like starting to become a little bit more my wheelhouse. So yeah, I would love another one of those. But I'm not going to say that's all I got, but that's all we're going with, because my lord, I have probably like 10 more.
You probably do. See, that's the thing. Like, look, I'm going to start thinking about it more now.
That's fine, dude, because we can hit this a little bit in the beginning of the next episode, and if Anthony's on, he can give some too.
True.
So I'm fine with that.
Word. All right. So let's hear me talk about, let's hear me talking to Echo, and then we'll be back. So now it's time to go ahead and let all the crew members at home and the ones abroad, we're going to tell you what we are playing. So, Scoobs, I actually have a new game.
Oh, dude, tell me.
So,
tell me all about it.
In the all new episode that I did, I think it was like around your birthday or whatever. I went ahead, and one of the games that I knew I was excited for that I actually pre-ordered was Temtem. Now, for people who don't remember anything about Temtem, it is essentially a Pokemon style game. Instead of a Pokeball, you have a card that the animal is on. And then, you have them walking around with you out in the world. You have tall grass areas to go ahead and deal with shit. And and you can level them up and the whole fucking thing. So I started playing this game. There's some stuff I like, and there's some stuff that I'm not really a fan of so far. Now, I will say I don't have that much time in the game right now. I only have maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Start with what you're not a fan of.
So it's a multiplayer online game.
Okay.
So you know what I mean. So it's like Destiny essentially. You know what I mean. To where like when you're flying around. You know when you're walking around the world, you'll see other players. Okay. You'll see other people and their temtems. You know what I mean, that they have with them, that they have tamed. And while that's fine, if I jump off the game and then jump back on later in the day, I gotta wait to reconnect to a server. And that's the part I'm just like, for real though? Like I'm just not a fan of of that particular thought for a game like this. Now, I mean, look, it's on all consoles, you know what I mean? It's on everything. But it just seemed like this game because like I asked you, you know what I mean, what system should I get this game for? And you were like, well, you know what I mean, it kind of seems like a Switch game. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So so that's what I've been doing kind of on my own. And besides that, I've been playing Wildlands. Okay, now I just said it right. Yeah, I was right.
You said Bloodlines last time.
I know, fucking idiot. I know I'm stupid. Okay, but I've realized I'm actually enjoying myself with this game. Now, before it was one of those things where we're kind of fucking around with me and the guys like me, Mike, Hobb, Dan, just because gave us something a little different to do because we're getting kind of bored and tired with Wonderlands because there really isn't much to do on that game anymore. You know what I mean? So we started playing this game and I started like going into these different like areas, getting intel, which helps me go ahead and like get like skill points and just try to build my guy better. I mean, dude, you remember what the skill trees looked like with that game with the drone and everything else. Yeah. So I've started playing that game when nobody is on now because I want to keep on just trying to like just build my skill set up. That and I like stealing helicopters. Apparently, it's something that I do. But another game that we actually started playing, it's actually a game on Game Pass. It's a zombie game. It's a 4-player online. It's like Zombie Wars, I believe it's called. Zombie Wars 4 or something like that. But it's actually a lot of fun. Your first so you're always carrying 3 guns. You have your first gun's always a scoped rifle. So like, but I mean, dude, it is actual like realistic guns. So dude, there's an M1 Garand in the game. You know what I mean? And there's like other like, dude, there's like Springfields, like lever action fucking sniper rifles and shit, dude. It's nice. Your secondary gun can either be a submachine gun, like a Tommy gun, or a shotgun. And then you have your third gun, which is your side. Your side piece. Your pistol. And it's actually a pretty fun game. It is actually a pretty fun game. I mean, because you have like these objectives you need to try to get to. You know what I mean? During when we're running around, it's like, okay, so don't end up over here. Don't shoot this over here because it's gonna make something else go off, which is going to send the zombies towards us. And then because like, dude, ammo runs out, and it's not that it's scarce, but it certainly isn't as abundant as in a game like Left 4 Dead. So, fair. Or like Back 4 Blood, you know what I mean? So. That one I'm also enjoying. I'm kind of hoping tonight maybe me and the guys we could jump on, we could actually throw down on that a little bit. But nah, man, that's basically what I have. I'm excited to hopefully give you more information on Temtem. I want to try to put more time in that this week because I'm not truly like, oh my god, I need to play this. And I haven't had anything for the Switch that I've really like needed to play lately. So I'm glad I have it. I just need to hunker down.
Yeah. Understood.
How about you?
Well, I'm glad you had a lot because I don't have much considering I was on vacation this week.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yes, I was on vacation for half the week. So I don't have much now. I will have stuff, no pun intended, on the horizon because yesterday my wife went out to run a couple errands and like literally this is the text message. Let me read you the text message that I got because
I do appreciate those.
This is how my wife is sometimes, and I absolutely love it. So hold on, I need to scroll back. and find this shit. Come on.
Come on. Scroll.
All right, I'm getting there. Okay, so I get this message that says, "What would you like from GameStop? You can argue and take your chances with whatever I pick, or you can tell me what you'd like." So she wanted to get me something regardless.
Yep.
So,
There was a plan. There was a plan that was involved, and she took you to task.
so she picked me up Horizon Forbidden West,
Nice.
which I will be getting into soon. She picked me up NBA 2K23, which I'm probably going to mess around with for a little bit as soon as we get off of here. At least do my face scan, get my guy set up. And she also pre-ordered... excuse me. She pre-ordered NHL 23 for me.
Nice.
Now, I did play a little bit this week. I played... I really getting my last little bit of NHL 22 out. Excuse me. So I did play some NHL 22, just trying to get to the end of my last franchise that I did. I'm in like 2042, I think, is the year that I'm in.
I mean, look, it's a good year, but still.
Put it this way. I'm so far into my franchise now that somebody that I randomly... Because obviously, once you get through the actual players and juniors that they have, they just auto-generate the rookies like in any other game. So I'm at the point where one of the auto-generated rookies that I drafted just retired. So that's how far I am.
Good God, man.
So I did that. I did pop 2K23 in just so I could check out the 2K beats, because the first thing I do every time I get that game is I go over to 2K beats and I pick out the songs that I want to keep and then the ones that I don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Bomb soundtrack as always for that game. But so I did that. What else did I do anything else? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I messed with anything else. But I can't remember. I may have done a little bit more of on Monday. I think before we left, I played a little bit more of Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still like right in the beginning of that game. Like I'm pretty sure I'm still damn near in tutorial mode because I'm still learning new things.
Yeah.
So I did do that, but I am gonna have a lot of gaming coming up between those two games, and also the plan is for me to start up Freaky Friday this coming Friday.
Yes.
So I got to get my setup going. You may have to pop by just to give me a refresher course because it's been so long.
Look, I'll do whatever you need me to do, man. I'm good for it.
And we got to pick a game. It's probably going to be the game I was going to have you play. Well, no, because we were going to have you do that, so we can skip that. It probably just makes sense for me to go right into Outlast 2, as much as I don't want to do that. That's kind of
my thought. Yeah.
As much as I don't want to.
Oh, I don't blame you.
One really fucked me up.
It sat with you.
It did. So it's probably going to be Outlast 2, though. So, yep, that's what I got. That's what I got. So you'll definitely hear more of some new shit next week.
Beautiful. All right, y'all. Now I get to go ahead and explain to you beautiful people, put this in your beautiful ears, where you can connect with CGC.
Please do, because I always wanted to know.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because then that way I can go ahead and give you all the proper information.
Please do.
You can start with our website, consolegamingcrew.com. Beautiful place. Absolutely great place to find us. You can also go to our email, which is consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what you think about the episodes. Give us an idea of a topic. If you want us to do something, we have no issue talking with everybody because we love everybody. And one of the easiest ways that you can talk to us, because we will get right back to you, is on Twitter. We are at Console Crew. Our YouTube and Instagram are both Console Gaming Crew. And like you heard in the beginning of the episode, our network is bossrush.net. Best place to go ahead and get anything and everything that you want to find. Console, PC, entertainment, sports, doesn't matter. You will find it with them. bossrush.net. Be better. Also, we have our Twitch, which is CGC Podcast. I normally run a co-op game Monday night. I took a few weeks off, kind of let me center myself out. I'm probably coming back Monday night. I think we're going to further along this Zombie Wars game, start messing with that a little more. And then Friday night, it is going to be freaky. Andy's going to jump in. I mean, we're going to make sure we do it right. I will be sitting there in chat, hanging out, laughing my ass off, Just saying, yeah, I mean, dicks out for Harambe and everything else. I mean, because everybody knows that's what we're gonna see.
Yep.
But yeah, also, yo, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. We are like literally we're everywhere. You can listen to us anywhere. And if you can listen to us anywhere, that means you can rate us anywhere. So please throw us those 5 stars. Please write us a comment. We do see this stuff. We do look at it. We greatly appreciate everybody who puts the effort in to talk about how good we are, if you think we're that good. And and if you do that, it will put us higher up on the video game charts. And that's, you know what I mean, really what we want. We want everybody to enjoy what you enjoy. So until next time, I want to tell everybody we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We want you to stay safe, wash your hands, mask up, do what you got to do to feel good, because that's what it is at the end of the day, baby. It's about feeling good. And as always, y'all,
game on.
Game on, y'all. Be good. Peace.